What's going on, YouTube and y'all squad? This is your boy Yakratees. This is your review for Love and I'm about to say Real Housewives. Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 4, Episode 18. Before I get into this episode, this episode was like meh to me, but I don't know. Part of it seems like it's like a build-up episode, like building to something, but I don't know. But I feel that we are going to get the Madani relaunch next week. And I feel one of two things is going to happen. Either A, it's going to end with Melody showing up, or it's going to end with Melody shows up, goes in, Don't Speak comes out, addresses Wanda, and then it ends there. And then we'll pick up the following week with the altercation between her, Miss Wanda, Martel, and the Scots. My predictions. So enough of that. Let's get into the episode. So we pick up where we left off, and that is with Dr. Francis talking to Kimmy and Maurice. I just want to say, let me just go through my notes, God, because again, I don't want to go off on too many tangents. I mean, that actually might make this good. But anyway, Dr. Francis tells Maurice that the more you do, the more you embrace her as a person and not as a partner to just have sex with. So the more you do at home, helping her out, and the more, you embrace her, like I said, things obviously will get better. He translates that into, okay, so the more that I do, the more that I embrace you, that means I get more sex, and it's just like, and when he said that, I just lit the screen. It was like, okay, Maurice, now look, let's be clear. Kimmy told us, I believe it was either season 1 or season 2, I believe it was season 1, that Maurice is just like his brother Marceau. And a lot of us, including myself, was just like, nah, I don't see that. No, he is. And at the same exact time, he's intelligent enough to know what it is he's doing and what is being said. Again, and look, y'all, here's the thing. If you don't have a quote-unquote storyline, it's okay to sit a season out or just play friend of because you don't have nothing, you know what I'm saying? Or if you will come at us with the bull, at least let it be something halfway believable. I don't believe it. So anyway, I'm going to just leave that there. So what's the next morning? You have Marceau cooking breakfast, which I guess this is probably the only time that Tisha gets breakfast made for her is when she on some type of retreat / vacation. Now I will say that bacon looked slightly undercooked. I'm just gonna throw it out there. None of my business because I wasn't there to eat it. Now, Letitia shares with us that Tiffany sent her a text message, letting them know that they had already made it to Birmingham. She had a speaking engagement, so they had to leave. That was the quote unquote reason. And, to let Dr. Francis know, thank you, blah, blah, blah. Now, ultimately, what I believe is, again, she more than likely had a speaking engagement. And one of two things. Either A, this was already something that was in place and is, okay, let me do what I have to do for the show so I can at least make sure that I get paid. Or it's let me have an early escape plan. In the event that I'm just like, you know what, I'm done, I'm through with this. Because if that's the case, I don't understand why. And look, we understand the power of editing, right? Okay. But I don't understand why this wasn't said to Dr. Francis and his wife, Marlo. I just don't understand why that wasn't communicated when she got chastised about taking a phone call. So anyway, let's see. Dr. Francis and his wife shows up. They ask about Tiffy Lou. They're told about, that they had left. And, obviously Dr. Francis is kind of taken aback. She's like, okay. And he honestly feels that the one couple who needed the most from this retreat were the Whitlows. Which, for what it's worth, yeah. Like, obviously every couple can benefit. But because of the simple fact that they have so many walls up and everything is all about appearances, it's a farce. It's nothing but a circus show. It's literally them painting themselves up, looking like clowns and whatnot, putting on this whole entire show. because their whole thing is smoke and mirrors. Let us entertain you. And then once everybody is gone, they can take the mask off, and now they can deal with their own reality. And sometimes people don't even deal with their own realities. This is one of those where you playing the game within the motherfucking game, but whatever. So Dr. Francis tells her. Oh, Dr. Francis asks them, to kind of like summarize what is going on, like how they all, took the weekend, this little retreat, how everybody felt about it. But then he tells us that every couple has an issue with trust and honesty, where obviously they can't be fully forthcoming with me, because to be fully forthcoming with me means that they have to be fully forthcoming at home. And many people are not, for fear of what's going to come of being completely 100% honest and all that comes with that. And it's that trust factor of, do you trust the other person to receive it, and you can just say what needs to be said, so he knows that he didn't get all of what needed to be gave. And in addition to that, knows that all the couples need to work on trust and honesty. I'm here for it. So we have Kimmy, Destiny, and Letitia. Sip on my coffee, y'all. So this scene was meh. I mean, it was like, let's, kind of build some things in this scene, but some things it's just like, where's the relevance of it, right? So Destiny asked why she wasn't invited to the retreat, and Kimmy's just like, well, you don't have a significant other, so why we're not going to invite a single person to a couples retreat. And Destiny is playing the whole, well, maybe I do, maybe I don't have somebody, which she does. And Kimmy's whole thing is, look, she's been tight-lipped about so much. Like, this isn't the first. And I agree. Like, she has been very tight-lipped, which is why when she first came on, she wasn't a part, like, she wasn't a main cast member. She was a friend of, because she wasn't willing to tell a whole lot, primarily because her husband did not want her speaking. And even, when the divorce happened, she only said but so much, but said enough and played around to where she could be a full-time cast member. So we shall see. They rehashed the retreat. There's wine in the store because they're all at a store right now. So there's wine in the store. So that is a perfect segue to talk about Martel. And then in talking about, Martel and all that other stuff, then, when you talk about Martel, who's one of the first things that come to mind, happens to be, ding, 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 you guessed it, Melody. So then Kimmy shares her conversation with Melody about Melnika and Martel. And this was one of those where it's obvious that Kimmy is being the producer's puppet, where it's, we need for you to carry this bone, or we pretty much be the bone carrier, so this bone can travel. We're going to play telephone with this bone, so by the time it gets to the ears that it needs to get to, it can be something bigger, so we can have something to film later. Because the reality is this, Melody told you, and yeah, you did inquire, but Melody told you that, what she felt, and that, yeah, Melnika was, helping with the wedding and whatnot, cut out 2 weeks before because, he was doing some scandalous stuff, and Melody thought back then that those who were messing around and things they're messing around currently, that is a conversation that y'all have. My thing is, you knew what you were doing. Because it's one thing for you to bring that up to Letitia because that's your sister-in-law. It's another thing for you to bring that up in front of and to Destiny, because Destiny is cool with Martel, and that now that she has this information to not tell Martel is going to, potentially put her in a bad light. So yeah, let me go ahead and put this out there so she can carry this back to Martel, and either A is going to stir up something in Martel, B, Martel is going to tell Melnika, or C, a combination of the two. Like, again, they need to be just a little bit more discreet about how they do this, because I'm like, even the first grader can see that was just complete stupid setup. Whatever. Anyway, Destiny invites the girls to her Madani soft reopening, and even with I'm sorry, with that she was even um, uh, Destiny was saying, she knows Melnika because she went to school with Melnika. She's pretty much known Melnika the same amount of time as she's known Martel, and says, okay, well, she's going to be at my Madani launch, and I want you all to be there too. So we shall see. So we get Maurice, Marceau, Lou, and Martel. They rehashed the retreat. You have Maurice saying how Marceau was just back there skinning and grinning, glad that, Tiffy Lou was getting theirs. And, Marceau, I was just back there like, get him. And I wish I had the clip from How High with Redman and Method Man, like, get him, get him. Like, that's all that I got from that. Now, Marceau did not deliver it as comical as that, but that put me in that mindset. Lou feels that he can't take anything from Dr. Francis. And it's just like, okay, you're bunking the process. But one thing that people need to realize is oftentimes a seed is always going to be planted. Now, here's the thing, whether or not that seed, penetrates to where it can get down into the dirt is irrelevant. The seed is there. Now, it may take other forces to come through, wet the soil, have some stuff come through, till it, everything else. But that seed is still sitting right there. And eventually, it'll get down in there. It'll get planted. And then it'll go ahead and sprout and, begin to do what it needs to do. But the seed is already there. It's just going to take another entity, another force to come up and break up that soil so that seed can actually be firmly planted. So it'll come. Marceau said that they talked about, what they got, when it's talking about external forces and the pressure. Lou said that the retreat, in essence, made him and Tiffany closer, more or less them having to have each other's back, close ranks and whatnot, because, it's them against the world. Okay. Maurice, learned that with the rope challenge that, his plan doesn't always work, and pretty much in a roundabout way saying finding the balance between, holding too tightly and pushing away. But the way that he was talking is like he was trying to figure out what to say, because again, I still don't believe this storyline that he's trying to push, but it ain't none of my business. Martel says he wants to be married again, and at times he missed what he had in his marriage. I'm pretty sure you do. So we get Martel and Mel. They talk about Wanda speaking on their kids and questioning, their child's paternity. Mel thinks that this may have had something to do when she was on Carlos's, after show, and her and Monique Sames was on there, and questioning if what's her name, Wanda had a man at home, and in addition to that, bringing up the fact that Wanda's baby's father, baby daddy, was in her DMs. Now, here's one thing I'm gonna say: say what you want to say about Miss Wanda, but Miss Wanda is doing the dang old thing. Because one thing that people really need to understand is polygamy benefits the woman, especially when done right in past situations, and monogamy benefits the man. But that's not here nor there. I'm just throwing that out there. So I ain't mad at Wanda for doing what she do. And let's be all the way honest. I mean, even though Wanda is an old school fool and I don't see it for her, we're not finna sit here and act like she ain't doing what, men have done for a long, long time, where they had their wife at home and they side chick over there down the street, round the corner, whatever. So, hell, she doing what she doing, it is what it is. If it worked for her, who the hell cares? But the whole thing is the baby daddy being in her DMs. Mel doesn't have Wanda's number, but Martel says he can get it and can send it to her because he feels if he engages her, it's going to come off way too strong, which I agree. So Melody is probably the person to address her. And, they agree that they are not divided when it comes to the children. Now, that was then. Now, current day, I don't know. And Mel says she's taking the kids to Destin, Florida, and invites him since, they have, been known to do family trips. And since they're in a decent place right now, that being the case, which is cool. So we get Destiny. She talks with her assistant about the soft relaunch of her store. Wanda will have her food trucks there. So again, this is building up to the epic, scene that was all over social media. Her landlord hasn't given her like a concrete, purchase number. So she hasn't bought the building yet, but she's still just going to, continue on with the, soft relaunch. And her boo calls. His name is Moses. He lives in St. Louis. He ain't gonna be there because he got a funeral to go to, and she gonna come visit him soon. So we in the scene with Martel and Destiny and a place called I believe it's Wine Rack. It looked like I wrote Wine Rock. I think it's Wine Rack. African American owned store. Beautiful, beautiful. He sent them a bottle of wine. The owners, Miss Cynthia, I forget. Miss Cynthia, Miss Emmanuel. There we go. Sent them, a bottle of wine, to taste and see if they like it, and they would want to carry it in their store. Now, I believe that if he was just, a regular person without any fame behind his name, then yeah. And again, most times you do have to do this and pitch your product. But the fact that you own the show and there's cameras and whatnot, come on now. But she tasted it, and she pretty much gave it a 10 out of 10, and says that she's going to have it in her, like have it in the store. So that's good for him. I just need for, and look, Sakini not over here, so I can give advice. I just need for Martin. Now look, he's one of those Capricorns that we gonna have to sit here and just throw away. But come on, bro, you need to do better with your business. Like, you need to stop with this print on demand wine. All right. If anything, it should have just been like you had 500, or better yet, had 1,000 on hand, and maybe gave anywhere from 200 to 500 to whatever stores you want them to be placed in. The rest of it you had ready for, sale online, and pretty much had it to where your site was able to do the deduction. And once it's been reached, even if somebody has in their car, if they go to purchase it and the last bottle been sold, hey, it's out of stock. You can put your email here. We can let you know when we restock, and do it that way. Because it seemed like it's print on demand, and it shouldn't really be taking this long for you to be getting this stuff out. But again, I'm gonna leave that where it's at. Anyway, Martel tells Destiny that he likes her song. He asks about, the guest list, with the soft relaunch, inquiring if Mel's going to be there. Destiny hasn't talked to Mel. She brings up the outing that she had with Tisha, Kimmy, and Kimmy's convo with Mel. And Destiny feels that the whole thing is weird. Martel says that Melnika is a happily married woman. He doesn't even recall doing anything with anyone back when they were engaged. Now, I don't believe that, but that is what he says. And it's like, I feel that conversation that Mel had with Kimmy is probably going to put her and Kimmy on the outs, more than likely. But we shall see. So that is it. That's all that really happened. I gave y'all almost, well, it'll be 18 minutes by the time I sign off. So I gave y'all 18 minutes. That should be good. Okay. But again, I really could have gave y'all this review in less than 10 minutes, but I was trying to give y'all a little extra. So yeah, with that being said, the next review will be Atlanta Reunion. I'm already dreading it because I really don't feel like it's going to be much of anything. I don't even know if y'all can get that review. But we'll see what happens tomorrow morning when I watch it. But that'll be tomorrow morning. Then Tuesday evening is the panel. Catch me there. And yeah, I think that is it. All right, y'all. So that's all I got. So please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see y'all for the next video. Peace out.